Yo, we back. It's a war going on outside. Nobody's safe from. Gotta keep that in mind, y'all. It's a war going on outside. Nobody's safe from. Shalonda, what it do? What it is? Now I need some residents of Utah, man. I need to talk to my people in Utah. I don't know if they safe out there, man. Got snipers on the roof, all black tactical gear, picking people off from a distance. The National Guard need to be to Utah, y'all. I think the National Guard need to be deployed to Utah. Navy SEALs or something. You know what I mean? Ghosts. What's the name? Special Forces. That like button. Hell yeah, let me do this real quick. Out of control, it's out of control, y'all. Hit that like button, y'all. And no, Siobhan, what it do? What's going on in Chicago? But I think the National Guard need to be sent to Utah. I think what's going on in Utah needs attention, man. In Chicago, I think it's street beefs turning deadly. In Utah, you got people out that bitch with sniper rifles, shooting off the roof. I think Utah needs some attention. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need to send them to Utah now. Utah want them. Utah needs them. Can you imagine? I remember when we had the sniper, the DC sniper. Man, people were scared to death. They was talking about it was a white car, white truck riding around. Man, people was terrified, man. I can just imagine what the residents of Utah is going through, knowing that it's an active sniper running around. I mean, cause they didn't even get the guy, y'all. Yo, but yo, it's ready to be a beef, y'all. The Bloods and the Crips. It's not like how they like to talk about the Bloods and the Crips. They really talking about the Democrats and the Republicans. It's a war going on right now. It's been going on for a while, y'all. Maybe since Trump last bid for re-election. Yo, people is dying behind this shit, man. And the Republicans is losing the war, man. They won the presidency, but they is losing the war in the streets. Like, this is a street war, y'all. Like, it's way bigger than what y'all think. Charlie Kirk was too powerful, y'all. He had the ability to sway the youth. Do you know what that does to the Democrats? And I ain't saying that they did it. I'm just saying. Do you know the damage that he was doing? You know, he was doing so much damage to the Democratic Party that they probably never got back in office. You know, it's about power, y'all. Democrats winning. Democrats winning. They didn't try to take Trump out the game twice. Let me move my truck, Joe, so I can go in the shade. I hate sitting in this fucking sun. I'm ready to show y'all what's going on. Republicans want war, man. They say they need to stop sitting back and allowing this shit, and they need to fight fire with fire. Now, they ain't say that verbatim, but that's what I got from it. That's what I got from it. Let me move my truck so I can get in the shade. It's hot as shit. It's hot as a motherfucker. It ain't really hot, it's just hot in the sun. I get this motherfucking shade. Let me show y'all what they said. Let y'all hear what they said. This a whole lot better right here. This is a whole lot better. I can't get my phone to set up right. Look, yo, a lot of people happy he did, yo. I ain't happy that man did, man. You see what I'm saying? This the Bloods versus the Crips. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm here to witness it. It's like the Bloods versus the Crips, y'all. Listen to how they create a narrative, how the Bloods and the Crips is the most dangerous gangs. And man, they ain't got shit on the Democrats and Republicans. And the Republicans upset. Listen to this shit right here, y'all. What's up, Linda? Oh, they got a person of interest. FBI released the image of a person. That man is gone. Yeah, that man is in Mexico. My man told me earlier, man, Utah, 10 hours away from Mexico. That man is gone. Out of there. They're gonna find somebody to be the fall guy. They're gonna find somebody to be the fall guy. I want to know how they lock up 2 people and let them go. They put one person all over the internet. Wasn't him. Then said they arrested another person. Wasn't him. Now, now, now they're releasing still images of this other guy that more than likely gonna get away with it. But let me show y'all. Listen to this shit right here though. This gonna fuck your head up. Fox News anchor upset.
Trump gets hit in the ear. Charlie gets shot dead. They came after Kavanaugh with a rifle to his neighborhood. They went after Musk's cars. They just shot 2 Jews outside the embassy. Think about it. Scalise got shot, barely survived. It's happening. You got trans shooters. You got riots in LA. They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. And what are we going to do about it? How much political violence are we going to tolerate? And that's the question we're just going to have to ask ourselves. Now, Charlie would want us to put as much pressure on these people as possible. Dana nailed it. This is unacceptable and has to stop. And it has to stop now. And everybody's accountable. And we're watching what they're saying on television and who's saying what. The politicians, Trump gets hit in the ear. Charlie gets the media and all of these rats out there. This can never happen again. It ends now. Greg's right again. This is a turning point, and we know which direction we're going. The media and all of these rats.
Hey, that sounds like a call to action to me. Yeah, that sounds like a call to action to me, man. It's ready to go down, man. We ready to see a whole bunch of political violence out this bitch. I mean, they didn't rally the troops. They didn't rally the troops, man. Shit crazy. But they just gave an update on the investigation. I just think Trump needs to send in the National Guard. That's what I think. That's what I think they need to do. I think National Guard can fix this, y'all.
Begin a career that is full of possibilities at All-State Career School.
And instead, we find ourselves today.
This is an ABC.
You know he ain't gonna be on front line. He talking to see Jesse out front. He ain't front line. He just talking. Yeah, man. He don't want to get his hands dirty. In order to fix this, people got to get their hands dirty. That man ain't trying to get his hands dirty. He just talking, man.
Special report.
Good morning, I'm Diane Macedo. We're coming on the air because authorities are holding a briefing about the shooting death.
Yo, that's not funny. He got killed, y'all. It ain't funny. That's not funny. Now, he did spew hate. You know, he did spew violence. You know, I guess he died how he lived, as far as speaking wise. But at the end of the day, they just words. But I told y'all, he was doing too much damage to the Democratic Party. Yo, this man was going to colleges. This is the youth. These are the future voters. These are the voters. That man was going to colleges, swaying public opinion. Yo, that is a violation in the United States. That's a violation in the United States, y'all. Can't do that. Not and get that big. Not and have an audience of 10,000 people or whatever his audience was. It was a lot of people though. No, hell no. You not in America. He should have learned from Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. He must thought he was exempt. Ain't nobody exempt from that shit, man. Nobody. I don't give a black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, fucking Hispanic. I guess that's all the same shit. Indian. Yo, nobody is exempt from that. Not in this country. Yo, free speech ain't free, y'all. It ain't free. It comes with a price. You can say what you want, but be ready. You know, because it's prices to pay, yo, for the things that come out your mouth, man.
Death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Kirk was shot and killed in front of thousands of people during an event at Utah Valley University. The shooter is still on the loose, and authorities say they're searching for a lone gunman who fired a single shot from more than 100 yards from where Kirk was sitting at the time. And those officials now are giving us an update on the investigation. Let's listen.
Yo, how strange is it, right? The Bloods and the Crips wear red and blue, just like the Democrats and Republicans. Y'all think that just happened by mistake? Who created who? I think these parties was around before gangs, man. Y'all think that just happened? You think the Bloods and the Crips sat around and say, yo, we gonna mock our colors behind the Democrats and Republicans? Or you think they was, you know, a branch of the Democrats and Republicans? Cause this is war, y'all. I don't know if y'all know that or not. But this what's going on right now. It's a war going on under everybody knows. You know what I mean? Under everybody knows, yo. It's a war going on between these two parties. And bodies is dropping.
Good morning. I am Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. I'd be remiss if we didn't start off today and recognize the significance of the day. Historically, on 9/11, law enforcement has come together as a group to recognize and honor those that sacrificed to preserve the ideals of this country, the freedoms of this country. And instead, we find ourselves today hunting a murderer who chose to violate our rights, the rights of an individual within this country. Just to recap yesterday's events, at around 12:20 p.m., political influencer Charlie Kirk was at Utah Valley University participating in a student-sponsored event with Turning Point USA. Charlie was shot at that event. He was transported to a local hospital where he later passed. Last night, his body was moved to the state office of the medical examiner. We will continue to facilitate movements to get him home today and with his family.
Did you know you could be entitled to a 5 or 6 figure payout if you suffered a serious injury at work, like a broken bone, torn?
Get him home today and with his family. Yesterday, during the investigative process, we located a couple of persons of interest. We interviewed those individuals, and after releasing them and after clearing them of being suspects, they face scrutiny. They face threats. We asked the public to be patient with the investigative process. These individuals were not suspects. They were people of interest. We ask that you do not impose into those people and that investigative process. They don't deserve that harassment for being subject to that. I'd like to thank all the investigators that are involved in this. They have worked around the clock. All day yesterday, through the night last night, investigators from the State Bureau of Investigations, from county, from city agencies, the university, our federal partners with the FBI, the ATF, and many others. Those are just a few of the people that we have involved in this. I'd like to thank all of them for their strong work. Through all that work last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we are confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately. Last night I communicated with Erica. The family's devastated. As a commissioner of public safety,
Like for the people that followed y'all, y'all didn't see this day coming. For the people that really followed y'all, the only way you didn't see this day coming is if you didn't know Black history. If you knew Black history, you'd have seen this coming. Straight up, because this is what they always do. I mean, like, this ain't nothing outside of the normal, for real. This is what they do. When you get too big, you buck the system, you go against the grain, you die. Yo, that's how this country works, yo. That's how it always worked. That's how it always worked. I don't think they never seen it on this level with, but that's how it always worked, yo. This is America, yo.
As a father and
The
a
illusion
husband,
of conclusion.
I can only imagine what that family's going through. The heinous event that happened yesterday is not Utah. This is not what we're known for. Over the past several weeks, we've seen this state come together to help families in mourning, come together as a community to show what Utah is known for a state of character, of service, of camaraderie, of a neighboring feel. We will not stand for what happened yesterday. We are exhausting every lead. We have every officer invested in this, every investigator.
No, see the thing is, Cat, it ain't even about speaking the truth. It don't gotta be the truth. You feel me? It doesn't have to be the truth. It's just when your voice become louder than theirs, you are a problem in this country, man. You're a problem, yo. His voice got too loud. People started following him. People started adopting his ideologies. Yo, you got to go. You got to go. That's how this country works, y'all. It always been this way. They did the Malcolm X, did the Martin Luther King. They did it to the Black Panther. It always been this way. When your voice get too loud, it don't matter if you're telling the truth or a lie. If your voice is louder than ours, you have to go. That's how that shit. That's how this country works, man. That's how this country works. Can't get too big. That's why in the live yesterday I said, yo, ain't nobody bigger than the program, yo. Nobody. Not even the president. Nobody is bigger than the program, yo. When you start sticking your nose in things and you start fucking with the money, because yo, this not about what he was saying. This is about the support that he gathered. You understand? This about support. This about being a leader. This is about having followers. No, hell no. You can't have 1 million people following you and you talking about shit that's against what we talking about. No, not in this country. Not in this country. Too big, too dangerous. Yo, the way at the route he was taking, yo, Democrats would have never got back in office. They'd have never got back in office. This man went to the colleges, y'all. He went to the kids, went straight to the source. These are the future voters. These are the future lawyers, the future these are the future of the country. And he over that bitch spewing things that's opposite of what other people believe. And debating them. And winning the debates. Man, hell no, you're a threat to you're a threat to national security at this point.
You see, the outpouring of support from the law enforcement community has been astounding. We are investing everything we have into this, and we will catch this individual. Having walked through the crime scene, through the hallways of this school, through the classrooms, I can't imagine what the people on scene felt as well. A horrific event where some of them barricaded in classrooms, some of them ran in fear. Can't overstate the tragedy and the horrific event that yesterday was, and how we will work to bring to justice the actions of one individual or any other individuals that assisted in that. Our state has gone through a lot, and we will come out successful. With that, I'll turn the time over to Special Agent Bowles on charge.
Good morning. My name is Robert Bowles, and I am the Special Agent in charge of the Salt Lake Field Office. Following yesterday's tragic shooting of Charlie Kirk, FBI agents have been working around the clock in coordination with our law enforcement partners. We are and will continue to work nonstop until we find the person that has committed this heinous crime and find out why they did it. This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle.
Dang.
That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. So the FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis. Now, I understand there are a lot of questions about motive.
Here's what the IRS doesn't want you to know. There's this secret
So I showed y'all.
marketplace that helps people get.
There are a lot of
I
questions.
showed y'all the suspect. Let me show y'all again for the people that just came in. Hit that like button, y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. But we gonna keep it all the way real over here, man. We gonna keep it all the way real. So this the suspect right here. He didn't even have on gloves. They say this is the suspect.
About motive. I assure you that all leads, tips are being fully investigated. As of this morning, we've received more than 130 tips. We thank the community for that.
Yeah, yo, that's what I'm saying.
The FBI has brought
And
every
I just want
resource
people to
bear.
understand, yo, it's not so much about what he was saying. It's the support that he gathered off what he was saying. If he was saying these things with no support, they wouldn't have gave a fuck. You feel me? You can say that shit. You can say that shit all you want to fucking 20 people, but the minute you got millions of people watching, you fucking with the money. Y'all gotta realize, yo, these government officials make a lot of money, yo. On the books, off the books. I mean, no, you can't get in the way of that. You can't get in the way of that. Not for too long. That's why they wanted Trump gone. Appreciate it, man.
And we will continue to do so throughout the course of this investigation. The FBI's mission is to protect the American people. It's to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Any attack on the First Amendment is an attack on the very foundation of our democracy. That is why we will relentlessly pursue this case and the shooter.
And like I say, yo, this is an example. That's all this is, because he ain't the only one. It's a lot of them. This right here is an example. Yo, if you go too far down this path, be careful. For everybody else, you know. That's what they do. They set examples. They did it to the black community. That's why you ain't gonna have another Malcolm X. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna have another Martin Luther King. You ain't gonna have another Huey P. Newton. You ain't gonna have it unless they are fully controlled. They gotta be controlled. The minute you get out of control, you subject to this. You subject to this. You subject to this, man.
We also continue to grieve with the family and the community. It's our community. If you have any video or images from the shooting, we ask you to please submit them to our digital media tip website at www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley Shooting. You can also call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. We truly rely on the public's help in these types of cases, and no tip is too small or insignificant. Thank you.
Can't hear the question. That nigga need to turn his mic up or something.
So what I'll release about the suspect is suspect blended in well with a college institution. And we're not releasing many details right now, and we will soon. But right now we're not. But that individual appears to be of college age. We are confident in our abilities to track that individual. If we're unsuccessful in identifying them immediately, we will reach out for the public's help and the media's help in pushing those photos. That was a new development overnight, working through the night studying those cameras. So that's something that's new and that we're working through right now. As far as the security, I cannot speak to that. Neither the Department of Public Safety nor the Federal Bureau of Investigation was involved in the planning or security of this event, and that'll have to be a question later for other agencies.
Ever been stressed waiting on payday, knowing that the bills don't wait? That's where Tilt comes in. Tilt gives you access to...
And that'll have to be a question later for other agencies.
So that's a good question, and it's a question that goes to the safety of the community, right? No, not in those woods. We've walked through those woods and secured it. As to the community, I can tell you that this was a targeted event. We don't believe that the community is at risk. However, we're exhausting every resource to find him, and we will do so. So I can't comment specifically on his face or any details such as that, as it's continuing to be a part of the investigation, and again, we'll release that shortly. However, we're doing everything we can to find him, and we're not sure how far he has gone yet, but we will do our best. We have images of the suspect. Again, as part of the investigation, we're not releasing any details such as that right now. We are exhausting all of our resources to be able to collect those, but that's, again, part of the investigation. Excuse me? We are working on that, but again, part of the investigation that I can't release. Not at all. We've got complete and total support from everyone, from the director on down, and it's been an incredible supportive environment so far. All I can say is that we're working the investigation the best we have with the environment we're given. So, thank you.
We've just been listening to officials in Utah. They're describing what they call a breakthrough in the search for the gunman who shot and killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk at a speaking event yesterday. They say now that they are confident that they can track the shooter's movements. Let's get right to ABC News Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman. Matt, it sounds like they've acquired quite a bit of evidence overnight on the shooter's movements.
Yeah, it seems like they've made a significant breakthrough in figuring out at least when this person started. They said they tracked him arriving here on campus about 11:52 a.m. The shooting happened about 18 minutes later. Then they tracked his movements on campus, going up a stairwell, climbing up on top of the roof, setting up for that shot, and then at some point after the shot, very quickly scampering.
They create this, politics is divisive, man. And it was created to be divisive. You know what I mean? Because as long as you can keep people separated, they can play the middle. The middle is where the money at, man. The middle is where the money at. The problem and where he went wrong at is he went too far left, too far right, whatever you want to call it. He went too far. And he didn't just go too far. He was taking people with him. You feel me? He went far. It was taking people with him, yo. You can't do that in America. Can't do that in America. And like I said, he was just an example. They made an example out of y'all. Fucked up. But this is what they always done. Like, this is not something that we ain't, we probably ain't seen it, depending on your age. But this been going on, for decades. It's been going on for decades, man. you got the ability to rally people or unite people, it don't matter what you unite them for. If it's against the interests of another group of people, then that's a problem, man. It's a problem. In America, then we ain't no different from these other countries, y'all. They like to paint this picture of Russia and North Korea. And we ain't no motherfucking different. We just handle things differently. We just more secretly and discreet with what we do. But it's all the same, yo. It's all the same game, yo. It's an illusion.
Across the roof, jumping off of it and running into a nearby neighborhood. They also said something very interesting. They are concerned about overly identifying this person. I think it seems that they know or have a pretty good beat on who this person might be or where they might be. They're keeping some of this information close to the vest, but they did say, Diane, that this person blended into the college community. They can't say that it was a student, but it was...
We watched a video last night. Strange as a motherfucking, y'all pointed this out, I ain't even paying no mind. Where he went to a college campus and the kid that he was talking to had on a shirt that said sniper. He had on the shirt that said fucking sniper. How ironic is that? They probably this shit probably was in the works for who knows how long, man.
Of that age who may have looked the part, obviously someone who was capable with a firearm. They found that rifle in a wood, and they do say...
And then it's another thing that they don't do. They don't classify white extremists the same as they classify black extremists. You understand what I'm saying? They don't give them enough attention. They let them fly under the radar. It's a lot of extremist groups that don't be on the FBI's, top whatever list they got for.
Say that they have a palm imprint, they have a forearm imprint, and a foot imprint. So I think they are getting close to this person. And for folks at home who've been...
more than likely, this person ain't never been in trouble. So it don't matter what prints they got. If he ain't never been in the system, if he ain't never been arrested, them prints is useless, to be honest. What I say wrong? What I say wrong, Vincent? Let me know. Don't just say I'm talking bullshit. What I say wrong? Yo, over here we explain things, yo. We don't just put out blanket statements. You see how every time I'm saying something, I'm explaining it? Yo, don't just put out a blanket. What I say wrong? The white extremist groups not treated the same as black extremist groups. Because they call Black Panthers an extremist group. And where the fuck are they at today? You know what I mean? They call Malcolm X an extremist. Nation of Islam was an extremist group. They not pushing the same message in 2025, man. You don't see them as often.
Can tell that they are adamant that they are going to find this suspect. Both the FBI and the Utah Department of Public Safety saying that they are going to get this man. And it also helps explain...
You don't think this guy was radical? You don't think that he was radicalizing people? Well, it don't matter what you think. Obviously, somebody thought that. Because if they didn't think that they wouldn't have, shit wouldn't have went how it went. If they didn't think he was radical, shit wouldn't went how it went. Because he's not the only one speaking like this. He ain't the only one speaking like this. Now he might, be one of the biggest, but he ain't the only one. Explain, y'all. What did I say that didn't correlate to the situation? What I said that didn't correlate to the situation. This man was radical. He said black people need to be back in slavery. He said let's go to some of the things he said. Let's go to some of the things he said. I got some video. I got some clips.
Governor Utah. You heard him tell you that they have capital punishment. And you need to be put to death.
It's a war going on, y'all.
And they need to find...
That's what y'all don't understand, y'all. It's a war. It's a war going on,
You're
y'all.
gonna get caught. You
Unfortunately, in the black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. You know.
Yo, that's not even true no more. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not. People think he's speaking facts. Yo, that's not true no more, man. Yo, black fathers is more present than ever before in their children's life. So it wasn't that he was pushing facts. It's just that whatever he was pushing, people were supporting it. It don't gotta be the truth, y'all. This is not the truth. This is a lie. This is a lie. This is not the truth. It might have been the truth in the 80s. Might have been the truth in the 90s. It ain't the truth in 2025, man.
For daughters and for sons, it's different things. For a daughter, that's a father figure to look up to say that is how a man should act and someone that I ought to one day marry, someone that will protect me from a vicious world, and someone that makes me understand what strength and not brutality looks like.
Man, I'll kill you in a debate. I mean, I'm no pun intended. He couldn't fuck with me in no debate. Not about my community. How would you think you think he can debate me on my community? A guy from Wyoming? Like, man, get the fuck out of here. He sounds stupid. Don't make me get on your ass, y'all. Cause we can change the subject real quick. We can change the subject real quick, man.
Americans from 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes.
About half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all murders.
Didn't go to college. Charlie dropped out of community college. You know the college that he dropped out of had a 100% acceptance rate?
Really?
Yes. I don't understand. That's one thing that I think is hilarious to me is when Charlie says college is a scam, when his career is built off of debating college kids. If college was a scam and did not exist, Charlie Kirk would not have a platform.
That's crazy to think about, but you're right.
And he didn't even go to college.
Yeah, he built a business off those debates,
yes,
college debates.
Of debating college kids. He wandered around universities that he couldn't get into or complete to tell the students there that they were being scammed while profiting off of disincentivizing students. It's a weird thing to do.
Charlie Kirk said, everybody, I'm here in South Korea, by the way, here to park at night. That's the most dangerous thing that I just saw, which was a black cat. No bums, no people trying to attack you. It's amazing. Crime is a choice. And here in South Korea, they decide not to put up with crime. We should say,
lock in, fuck niggas. We about to fact check this shit.
If you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, and she was gonna give birth and she was and she was gonna give birth and she was gonna live, would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's it.
Yo, he was too radical. The girl asked this man if your daughter got raped and had a baby. If your daughter got raped and got pregnant, would you want your daughter to have a baby? He said the baby would be born. How many of y'all agree with that? That's facts. That's facts to people. If somebody was to rape your daughter and got pregnant, you would want her to have the child? Yo, that's what I'm saying. It ain't about truth. It's about support.
Empathy, actually, I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage, but I stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage, but I stand the word empathy, actually.
Kirk has no problem putting his true beliefs about anyone who isn't a white rabbit conservative like him on full display.
If you're gonna remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian, see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I see a black pilot, I'm gonna be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman. I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Thomas Sowell and Justice Clarence Thomas are far better black role models to celebrate than Martin Luther King. Period. End of story. This guy is not worthy of a national holiday. He is not worthy of godlike status. In fact, I think it's really hard. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52. I'm going to trust the Lord. I know what we're saying is true. I was disappointed because I said, listen, guys, you could hate what I'm doing. You could criticize it.
This facts, y'all.
Kirk has no problem putting his true beliefs about anyone who isn't out.
I don't think these is facts, man. I think this is rhetoric, and a lot of what he was spewing was nonsense. But that ain't the issue. I don't think they really gave a fuck about that. I think the biggest mistake he made was going against the Democratic Party, man, in the way that he did it. And he did it and it garnered support. Yo, you can't do that in America and not be a politician. Shit, even if you is a politician, you go too far right or go too far left, your life in jeopardy, man. It ain't about what he said, but to say he was speaking facts, I didn't hear too many facts at all. You know what I mean? I didn't hear too many facts in what he just was speaking. I don't hate this dude. I think what happened to him was horrible. But we got to keep it real at the same time. You know what I mean? It ain't about no motherfucking hatred. I don't think most black people hate white people. Like I don't. That's ignorance. You know, white people is not the catalyst. Not these people. Not the people that's alive and well and working and taking care of their family. They ain't the catalyst for what the fuck is going on in the black community. It's the government. It always been the government. The crazy thing about it is, and this is why the Democrats and Republicans is such a, it's so important, you know, to keep people separated. Is the problem is, yo, we all got the same problems. We all really have issues with the same people. But as long as these people got a side, they're able to manipulate, and that's what the fuck goes on. That's how you create a person like him, where he chose his side. Now he going gun ho on the other side, or what he thinks the other side is about. But in reality, ain't none of them really got your best interest at heart. They in it for the money. You feel me? It's a money game, big business. That's why he had to go. He was fucking with the money. Now how much these elected officials get paid, or once they get their interest met, you become president, and now you got all these seats in Congress. You know how much you can get done, how much money you can make? Man, he got in the way of that, man. You can't get in the way of that in America. That's what I'm telling y'all. I don't give a fuck about his message. The shit he said don't move me none. You know, it sounded like a lot of it was bullshit. But I'm talking about the bigger picture. The bigger picture. Let somebody else go this way. Watch what happened to him. That's what I'm talking about. Or go gun-ho the other way. Watch what happened to him. It's America, man. I don't give a fuck how mad he is. Yeah, I don't vote Democrat. Dan the Gamer, man. Look, what made you think I vote Democrat? Because I'm black? What made you think that I vote Democrat because I'm black? That's ignorance in itself. It's ignorance in itself. I'd have never voted for Biden, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, none of them. But I'm not dumb either. I'm not going to get up this bitch and say some of the shit he's saying. You can't speak. For one, he was dead wrong speaking on black people. You don't know nothing. You never lived in these communities to even have an opinion of what's going on in the black community. Never lived there. You never experienced. You can't speak loudly and boldly, and then you trying to sway other people, and you ain't never been in these neighborhoods. You ain't never walked these blocks. You ain't got dead friends. How the fuck you gonna speak on the problems in the black community, man? Man, come on. Y'all gonna make me get on his ass. And I didn't want to do that. But that's what y'all going. It's gonna be y'all fault. Cause I can get on his ass and make y'all look stupid. Fuck you talking about? It's like me going to a farmer and telling him how to farm. I ain't farmed a day in my life. That's how stupid that outsiders sound when they tell us or me what's going on and what needs to be done to fix the community. You sound fucking stupid, idiotic, and that's where people talk about privilege. Because you'll never catch a black person doing that. You'll never catch a black person creating a platform telling white people how they need to live and what they need to do. You won't do it. It won't happen. Man can't speak nothing about what's going on in the community. He ain't never lived there. He ain't never lived there. What makes you think I ain't never vote? What if I told you I voted for Trump in what was that? In 2020. What was that? What year he lost? What if I told you I voted for Trump in 2020? Would you believe me? Or would you think I'm lying? What if I told you on here I was telling people vote for Trump this time? Would you believe me? Or would you think I'm lying? Yeah, I don't do a whole bunch of bluffing on here. I'm just saying. You know, people see you and they just automatically create a false perception of reality. Biden. What? Y'all have never voted for no Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the problem. Joe Biden the one created the problems in the community. That's why I was getting banned off Facebook. Because I was telling people about Joe Biden. I've been shadow banned for 7 years. or they just unshadow banned me, man, for talking about Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the fucking one of the biggest reasons why the black community is fucked up. You know why? 3 strikes bill. That 3 strikes bill devastated the black community. Talking about no motherfucking Joe Biden. You must don't know. Where you from? Where you from, Jay? Jay Jordan? What city you from? What city you from? I'm from Baltimore. I seen what it did. I seen what happened to our fathers. I seen our fathers get caught up in that system because they put crack cocaine in the neighborhood, then came back with stiffer laws on it. I seen it. I know the effects of it. You just talking. These are facts. This can be proven. Fuck is you talking about? I come over here talking stupid. Then what are you talking about then, Jordan? If you seen it too, what are you talking about? How you arguing with me, but you seen it too? The fuck you sound stupid, man. You sound stupid. Man, ain't nobody co-signing what that boy did, man. That man went rogue. What you talking about? Nobody. You think people co-signing what Joe did? That shit was stupid as a motherfucker. I'm glad they here though, cause now they get some truth. They thought he was telling the truth, but no, he can't tell the truth about what's going on my blocks, in my city. Yeah, man, I know what I'm talking about. She know what I'm talking about. That's why she ain't respond since. Didn't fucking vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden should never got a black vote in his life. The damage that he did with that fucking bill, man. And it was intentional. Do we got to go to the speech? And it was intentional. Fuck you talking about? Fucking Joe Biden. Don't come over here talking no Joe Biden shit again. Man, I'm not a fan of none of them niggas. Yeah, let's go to the speech since they want to talk about Joe Biden. Let's listen to his speech. 7 minutes. Check it out.
Rehabilitate them at that.
Listen to him.
And he doesn't talk a lot about.
I'd have never voted for y'all. He can run for president. He could have ran for president for fucking the rest of his life. If they did the presidency every single year, and he was going up against who the fuck knows, he would never get my vote. Fuck no. Yo, certain things,
but
you can't redeem yourself from certain situations. Yo, this bill caused so much trouble in the community It took our fathers away. Then the media lied and said our fathers left. That's why what Shorty said ain't the truth. What the fuck your name is? Charlie, Chris, whatever, Clark, Kirk, whatever the fuck his name is. That's why what he said wasn't the truth, because he don't know the history. You can't go in there and speak, oh, black fathers don't take care of their kids. There was a reason, yo, and that shit ain't even true no more, man. That argument needs to get thrown out. It ain't true no more. So we just gonna allow these people to put us under this umbrella forever. So for the rest of our life, for the rest of our existence as black people, we gonna keep allowing them to spin this narrative that black men don't take care of their kids. That's a fucking lie. Man, we ain't doing that. What's up, Harris? What? Man, I don't give a fuck about no immigrants, man. Fuck you talking about? Do they care about me? I don't got to come here talking about no immigration. I think they was in the way.
President is very, very straightforward and simple. He knows there are two basic steps here. One step is you must take back the streets. And you take back the streets by more cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people. He also understands what my friend from Texas understands, and he doesn't talk a lot about, but he signed on to in this bill. He also understands the need to keep people who are first-time offenders, who are non-violent offenders, or who are...
Hey, Cedric, I know what's going on. Yo, my father fell victim to a lot of... Yo, I grew up in the neighborhood. Yo, ain't none of us had fathers. Yo, you think everybody just left? Nah, man, that shit was orchestrated, man. I mean, a lot of them was in prison, a lot of them was on drugs. Yo, that was a play, man. The same play that they running on the women now, to separate the family. You know, because the ultimate goal was to keep the family separated, especially when it comes down to, black people. You know, for years and decades, you know, that's where the power structure came from, the family. The black family was strong. So if you can separate the black family, you can keep the cycle going. That's what happened. And he paid the part in it. Listen to him. And it wasn't by mistake. Because if you listen to his speech, he explains that, yo, we did these people wrong. We know why things fucked up. But we not giving them resources. We giving them jail. That's what he said in this interview, man. I mean,
potential first-time offenders who haven't gotten, I yield myself an additional 3 minutes, who, in fact, are people who getting themselves into the crime stream for the first time.
Yo, the Holocaust got, they got payment for that, right? Hey, Curtis, they still get paid? Did you know they still get paid for that? Like, yo, you can't put what we went through on the same accord of what they went through. Yo, we ain't get no motherfucking payment. We ain't get no reparations. We ain't get shit. The fuck you talk about? I'll be tripping, man. Saying, hey, they want me to move, bro?
Yeah, I'll get to that whole thing. I appreciate it.
All right. Talking about the motherfucking Holocaust. See, yo, the thing is, I'm radical too. But I came in radical. But I'm radical with the truth. I ain't pushing rhetoric and nonsense. And I don't talk about shit I don't know about. That's what Charlie Kirk did. He talked about shit he didn't really know about. That's a problem in this country, man. Can't do that. Where the fuck my key at? But listen to y'all, man, joking, smoking Joe.
That they should be diverted from the system.
Go back.
The president is very, very straightforward and simple. He knows there are two basic steps here. One step is you must take back the streets.
What the fuck happened? Oh shit, I should connect it to the car. Hold on.
Cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people. He also understands what my friend from Texas understands, and he doesn't talk a lot about, but he signed on to in this bill. He also understands the need to keep people who are first-time offenders,
who are nonviolent offenders or who are potential first-time offenders who haven't gotten, I yield myself an additional 3 minutes, who in fact are people who are getting themselves into the crime stream for the first time, that they should be diverted from the system. So I hope this crime bill, when it passes, the Biden-Hatch.
I'm ready to find some shade. Hold on, let me find a park to go to real quick. I'm sitting here waiting. Get the fuck out of here. I think it's one right down the street. Yeah, that's right down the street. We're ready to go here. 8 minutes away.
Crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing, I hope that we will have ended once and for all this notion that is a hangover from the 60s, that somehow Democrats are weak on crime and Democratic presidents are weak on crime and Republicans are tough on crime. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress,
big money,
every
y'all.
minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill. So one of the things I want to do in addition to ending crime is end the political carnage that goes on when we talk about crime. Crime is not Democrat or Republican. Making the streets safe is not a Democratic or Republican issue. This is one of those issues I hope this passage of this bill will be taken out of the gridlock category and moved into an emerging consensus. And the consensus is as follows, and I will cease when I finish this statement. The consensus is A, we must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I want to ask, what made them do this? They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that.
So, man, Joe.
The Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee, the Democratic president of the United States of America, the Democratic attorney general, the Republican leader of this effort, Senator Hatch, the Republican senator from Texas. We all agree on that. Now, we can find some fringe folks in the study groups on the right wing and left wing, libertarians and left wingers in my party who say, no, that's not what we should do. But politically, that consensus has been arrived at. I acknowledge there was not that consensus in the 60s. There is today. There's a second thing that we all have agreed upon, and that is, unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes. Because
that nigga, his ass should have never got a black vote in the world. They shadow banned me for talking against y'all for 7 years. Listen to, so you heard what he said. They must take back the streets. You know, they causing all this mayhem. Mind you, this is on the heels of the crack epidemic, which took crime through the roof. Now you don't want to help these kids. You don't want to help these people. You want to send them to jail. And then he acknowledges that we created these people. Listen to him. He acknowledges it.
They literally have not been socialized of them. Born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now, not out of a liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple, pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because...
That society created. He knew this. Because of its neglect. He knew that, right? It would like fuck that girl who was in here talking about some fucking Joe Biden so I can get on her ass. Motherfucker be stupid. Yeah, I don't forget nothing. Especially nothing like this. You can't never forget this. This was probably the worst I ever heard of my fucking life when it came down to a speech. That man wasn't supposed to get a black person vote for him ever. For nothing. After that fucking speech. You gotta hold these people accountable, man.
We created them, that we somehow forgive them or do not take them.
Created them.
That society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society. And the truth is, we don't very well know how to rehabilitate them at that point. That's the sad truth. You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. You know what the basic premise of the Sentencing Commission is? I know the presiding officer knows. It was the first time in 80 years we rejected the notion that the condition of sentencing must be related to how long it would take to rehabilitate. I'm the guy that said rehabilitation, when it occurs, we don't understand it, notice it, and even when we notice it and we know it occurs, we don't know why. So you cannot make rehabilitation a condition for release. That's why in our system, there's the federal system, you serve 85% of your time. I remember when it was going on, when I was making these arguments in the late 70s, they used to call Biden's same time for the same crime provision. It's a shame, but we don't know how to rehabilitate. But there is a consensus, and I will cease. A, we must make the streets safer. I don't care why someone is a malefactor in society. I don't care why someone is antisocial. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society, try to help them, try to change their behavior. That's why we do in this bill. We have drug treatment and we have other treatments to try to deal with it. But they are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our families. But we would be absolutely stupid as a society if we didn't recognize the condition that nurtured those folks still exist. And we must deal with that. And I think there's a consensus among Republicans in that. Old barbed wire Republican conservatives want to hang them high. Even those folks are saying, hey, we got to deal with the root cause of this. Not one or the other, but separately. And liberal Democrats who used to say, let's look at the sociological underpinnings of why this occurred, and they're now saying, hey, look, we got to take back the streets. We'll make that fight later. So there is a consensus. I hope the remainder of the discussion, as we close out the debate in this bill, we can end that old fight. We can put it behind us. Hopefully we have, the senator from West Virginia said this is a historic moment on this bill. A consensus being reached. I think it is, but I think it's a historic moment for a political reason as well. Hopefully we will end the discussion about whether or not...
Remember, y'all, this was the same time they was privatizing prisons. all of this happened in conjunction with the other. You got you got the crack epidemic. You got the mass incarceration going on, and you got privatized prisons, and you got the rap music. You know, at this point, '94, they didn't already change rap music to gangster music. It wasn't what it was at this point. Where the fuck that water at? Matter of fact, I'm gonna sit right in here. Can I pull it here? Or no? I might pull it here in the motherfucking way. Man, he worse than Trump. Hey, what's up, kid? Hey, he worse than Trump. I'd have never voted for you. They shadow banned me for 7 years for telling people not to vote for you. Only for what's it called to come back and say that he was under political pressure. Hold on.
That shit is bullshit. That shit, fuck that nigga. Quite frankly.
Yeah, see,
you know what I'm saying? And I don't understand how Trump ordering the flags to be flown half staff and all this stuff.
Yeah, I think he's taking it too far.
Yeah, he ain't no general or no damn former president and no shit like that.
They say it's a bad day for America. No, it's a bad day for his family. And I don't think it's a bad.
For his family.
I don't think it's a bad day for America.
I feel bad for his family, his wife and kids. I really do. My heart goes out to them.
But my thing, I'm not gonna say fuck y'all. My thing is when it come down to it, yo, this is what they do. I mean, they did it Malcolm X. They did it, yo, you can't. I just was talking about online. Yo, you can't gather that much support and be that far right or left and survive, yo. That's just not how this country works. It doesn't work that way. He should have seen this day coming. This country don't work that way, yo.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. I apologize for that. God forgive me for that, for saying that. But my issues come from, or my comment just comes from the amount of like
rhetoric,
divisiveness, rhetoric and stuff he out there spilling. He not doing God's work, yo.
And that's why I was just telling people on live, they got mad and left.
That type of stuff. He's not spilling God's work, yo. Not doing God's work.
People think he was telling the truth. I say so. I played a few clips. Like, where's the truth at? He was so in division. He wasn't talking. He wasn't telling the truth, and he was going against the grain. The reason I think it happened is because the route he was taking, the Democrats would have never got back in office. He was going to the college. They'd have never got back in office. He had too much support, and he was going to the youth. The future. He was going to the future with it. You can't do that. You can't do that in this country, bro. You can't do that in this country, man, and get away with it and do it for an extended amount of time. Hell no. Midterms coming up. And midterms coming up in November.
Maybe for the Congress, yeah.
Yeah, man. That man was dangerous. But I'm gonna lie, tell you, I'll call you when I get off. All right. Yeah, yo, but that's what took black fathers out the household, y'all. And it's crazy that you got people still pushing that line, like black men just left. Hell no, black men was removed through the welfare system. I remember my mother being on welfare, and they were saying couldn't no man be at the house. Like, that was a real thing, y'all. That was a real thing. And mind you, welfare is a white woman's program. But at the same time, when you got welfare running You got mass incarceration at full throttle. You got drugs in the community full throttle. You got hip hop that transitioned into gangster rap. Man, yo, shit, you know, there's a lot going on at the same time. It's hard to fight everything. You know what I mean? It's hard to fight everything, man. Yeah, for real. Yeah, it was a professional, man. Yeah, it was professional. Yeah, like it was while I was around, but it was a lot. See, it was more. See, this narrative of black men not taking care of their kids, it wasn't really true. It wasn't that they wasn't taking care of their kids. These niggas was they was in jail. It was all drugs. I mean, they couldn't welfare was around. It just was so much going on, and even with that, you still had fathers taking care of their kids, but it wasn't as frequent as it is now. With he had a debate with Candace Parker. I wonder what Candace Parker said, man. Like, is she going to? She probably somewhere distraught because she got to watch out too. She got to watch out too, man. She not exempt. Shit, that's what's up, Hot Spot. Sunday best. Candace, no, I said not Candace Parker. Candace Owens, I mean. Candace Owens got to watch out too. She ain't even done the video yet. I'm just saying, when you go that route, you gotta know what come along with it, y'all. And that man got too radical. I don't know if he started off that way, because I ain't really familiar with him. So I don't know if he started off that way or he transitioned into that. But somewhere along the lines, he got too radical. And we talking about big business, big money, big business. See, but like I said, McFarlane, Mark, it ain't even about what he taught. It's just the support, y'all. Support. The narrative. I keep trying to drill that in people. It's the narrative, man. It's the narrative. They gotta control the narrative, y'all. Censorship. Y'all remember censorship, man? Y'all think they still not on that? I mean, you wonder why certain pages get recommended? You wonder why they don't send out my notifications? Nah, he ain't bigger than the program. Nobody is. I mean, it's the Bloods and the Crips. Red and the blue. Ain't no different. But it's way bigger. You know what I mean? Like they trying to divert people's attention to the Bloods and the Crips, but you're not paying attention to the Democrats and the Republicans. They got a much bigger war going on. Probably, who knows how many casualties. Like, this shit real, y'all. This ain't no game. Now if you talking money, yo, it ain't no game, man. Yeah. Straight up. Man, how he was a hit man. No, he was a hit man. That shit wasn't no rogue. They gonna try to play it like it's a rogue shooter and he acted alone. Man, I think in 2025 we know better. Now they probably could have sold us that in 1930. I mean, especially black people. We ain't buying none of that shit now. Cause we done seen the worst of them. We see how they operate. We see how they get when they can't get you to flip. They tried to get Malcolm X to flip before they killed him. Y'all remember? I just played the audio a couple days ago. They tried to get Malcolm X to flip before they killed him. Martin Luther King was cool. What the fuck happened? All right, Martin Luther King was cool until his message switched. Once his message switched, he had to go. Once he did that video where he said, I feel like I'm taking my people into a burning building, that was, his death certificate was signed. The fuck you mean? I mean, y'all remember that? Y'all remember he said that? That man death certificate was signed that day. We gonna get his ass. He going off script. Going off script. Like I said, I know how they get y'all, cause I'm on a much smaller level. But like I said, I just was shadow banned for 7 years, man. 7 years they shadow banned me, man, on Facebook and Instagram. On Facebook and Instagram. All because I told black people not to vote for Joe Biden. They shadow banned me for that. Took my page, my monetized page, took my shit. And basically said, fuck me. I said, damn, this shit vicious. You know, just gotta watch what you say, yo. Yo, we done had lives cut off. Y'all know how they do. You just can't say anything. Like, you can't do that. You can't do it. I know they like to create this illusion that you can, but you can't. You say the wrong thing, yo, you gonna get some people upset. Ain't no telling what's gonna happen. You talking about your family's in danger. That mean cars getting hot wired. Motherfuckers dying from mysterious illnesses. Like, yo, this shit real, man. It's money. Gotta remember, yo, anything that's rooted in money is rooted in evil. When you get to talking about big business, like big business, what's Joe Biden net worth? What is Joe Biden's net worth? 8 to 10 million. What is Nancy Pelosi's net worth? Nancy Pelosi net worth is 230 million, y'all. A figure that includes assets held with her husband, venture capitalist Paul Pelosi. What is Hillary Clinton's net worth? $100 million. 70 million, 100 million. Yeah, we talking about big business, man. That man got in the way of the money, man. Yeah, I think he lying about Biden's. That man got in the way of the money. One of the things you don't do is play with the money. Fuck what you saying. I'm telling you, yo, the route, because you got to remember what the Democrats is pushing, yo. It ain't too many people behind that. You feel me? They pushing that, you know what they pushing. We ain't got to go into details. It ain't too many people behind that. Then you got a guy that's on the other aspect, the other end of it, focusing on the youth, and he is swaying public opinion. Man, you are a problem in this country, man. You're a problem in this country. I don't know what the fuck they pushing. Jail. But the problem is, you don't have who's the Democratic who would be his Democratic equal? Is there a Democrat doing what you're doing on that level? Somebody let me know. Is there a Democrat on the level of Charlie Kirk going to the college campuses? I'm talking about like far. He far. What would it be, right? He far right. I mean far left. Like far left. I don't think we got that. At least I ain't saying. Well, I ain't even saying yo. I have seen yo before, but I ain't know who he was. I don't think we got that. Hold up. It's just like I said, if I was a core supporter of his, I'd have been like, yo, they gonna kill yo, man. I'd have been like, they gonna kill yo, man, cause I know, cause that's what they always do. Oh, they got a video of the guy. This just look like it's AI. What kind of video is that? Here go the guy walking. What he got on his shirt? American flag. He got an American flag with a gun on his shirt. He young too. Somebody know him. Probably kill himself. You know, cause you can't get him. You know, we don't want him to get caught now. We can't take the chance of him snitching. You feel me? Nah, fuck no. His ass probably be dead next. They probably find his ass dead for the day out. You know, we can't take that chance. You know, ain't no snitching in politics. People like to make it a street issue. Ain't no snitching in politics. Snitch if you want. Watch what happens to you. Write a tell-all book about things that you seen. Fuck around, get hit by a bus. You feel me? Fuck around, get hit by a bus coming out the house. Ain't no bus stop round that business is gonna come out of nowhere. The fuck ain't been a bus stop here in 20 years. Bus took the wrong turn. Bus took a wrong turn, ran right into you. For real though, yo, that shit real, man. That shit real, man. Without the force, what it is. We think it's a game, yo. Shit not no game, man. Ain't a game. Yo, they didn't, yo, for the longest time, they didn't even want you speaking on politics, yo. You couldn't speak on politics. Since Trump been in office, they laxed up a little bit now. Though, but when the Democrats was in office, yo, you couldn't speak on politics on the internet. Man, you say the wrong word, man, you be getting a motherfucking notification talking about your page with copyright strike. I remember it, yo, because I was online. See, a lot of y'all don't remember if you wasn't like uploading videos and shit. I was online. I remember. I started being online in like 2019, but I ain't come to YouTube to 2021. I was on Facebook for 2 years, speaking on real issues. They took a problem with that. That's why, if you notice, that's why they push ignorance. You know what I mean? They don't want you speaking. They don't want you talking about nothing real. They want, you know what I mean? You can talk about ignorance all day long. The minute you get too real or get too honest or just get people to support what you say, yo, you become an issue in this country. You become an issue. That nigga was pushing rhetoric, yo. Wasn't truthful. It was dangerous. What he was pushing was dangerous, man. Not dangerous to me, not dangerous to you, but dangerous to the to a whole nother group of people. That man that's making a lot of money off of what they pushing. He was a danger to that. Got in the way. Can't get in the way. They tried to get Trump out of there. What made them think they wasn't going to try to? People thought that Trump shit was fake. That shit wasn't fake. Yo, I said when Trump lost and they tried to re-elect him, I'm like, yo, they'll kill yo for they let that man be president again. I said that. Way before the shootings happened. I said, yo, they will kill Trump before they allow him to be president again, man. Now, they tried twice. Unsuccessful. That don't mean they won't try again. I guess they like, shit, we can't get Trump, we'll get his ass. He his biggest supporter. He pushing the same line. Just as good. That's fucked up, man. Got kids? I just want people to see what's going on, y'all. You know, that'd be my main focus. You can't stop it. You feel me? Ain't no stopping it, but you at least gotta know what's going on. Media is controlled, yo. Every now and then somebody slip through the cracks. And that's why, like I told y'all yesterday, that's why I don't trust Charleston White. That's why I don't trust Umar Johnson. Because Umar Johnson is he radical. But they let him get away with it. Like, you can be radical as long as you can be controlled. You understand? The minute you become radical and uncontrollable, then, yo, we got to fix that. Got to fix that. The minute you become uncontrollable, you are now a threat. You are a threat to this country. They call it national security. That's what they call it. They call it national security. You're a threat to national security of this country. Because now we can't control the narrative. Like yesterday, I was telling y'all about Alex Jones. You can't find no video of Alex Jones on YouTube talking about Sandy Hook. Wiped it out of its existence. You would have thought it never happened. You feel me? You can't find it. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel sorry. I mean, I can't say I don't feel sorry for him. Because he should have known what kind of, if you jump into anything, know what come with it. You know what I mean? Just like if you out here killing and robbing and shit like that, and you motherfucking get killed or you go to prison, yo, you know what come with it. You know what I mean? Especially if you of age. Like, we ain't talking about children, we talking about an adult. You know, when you become an adult, you supposed to know all, you supposed to know what you're doing. You're supposed to be well aware of the consequences of your actions. And the way he was talking, he should have known. I'm sure he did. They probably warned him, yo. You know, just like they warned Malcolm X. Just like they warned Martin Luther King. They warn you first. You know, they ain't gonna take it to the further extent. Yeah, hell yeah, they removed his ass. They removed his ass during censorship. When they were censoring everybody. Alex Jones was the first to go. He got to go. He got too big, yo. You cannot get bigger than the program, yo. People thought that was a gang term, man. It's a government term. Like, yo, y'all don't think it's strange that, like I said earlier, y'all don't think it's strange that Democrats and Republicans is red and blue? Y'all think that just happened by mistake? Who designed them for real? I mean, who really put that bug in their ear that they need to become Bloods and Crips and we need gangs? Like, where did that really come from? The first people probably was informants. He had to know. I'm sure they told him. I'm sure they contacted him. Like, hey, man, you know, you're going too far with it. I mean, you do your thing, man, but, you know, stay away from this. You know, stay away from that topic. That man went up there and talked about everything you ain't supposed to talk about. Everything. Like I told you, I remember you couldn't even say nothing bad about Black Lives Matter. Yeah, same bird. Exactly. Right wing, left wing, same bird. You couldn't say nothing about Black Lives Matter, y'all. When all that shit was going on and they was running that play with George Floyd, yo, you couldn't say nothing about them motherfuckers, yo. Without getting removed. Without getting shadow banned. Now, people slid through the cracks, but them people that's still around, man, best believe they compromise. They know what to stay away from. Like I told y'all, it ain't about what people say. It's about what people see and don't speak on. That's how you know what's up with them. When they intentionally avoid certain topics, this seems like Shorty ain't avoid nothing. You feel me? It's been like he spoke his mind on every single situation, regardless of what it was. And yo, you can't do that in America. Can't do that in America. You couldn't do it in America in the 50s. You couldn't do it in America in the 60s. You couldn't do it in the 70s. You couldn't do it in the 80s. You couldn't do it in the 90s. You feel me? You just can't do it, man. Can't do it. Too much money involved. Because at the end of the day, it's all about money, y'all. It's all about money. Y'all gotta remember, America is a business. You know what I mean? It's a business, man. They don't give, they don't give a fuck about no people. No people born every day. You fucking up the business, my guy. Fucking up the business. You know how much money we making? The fuck you think this is? You know how much money we getting out this shit? Man, you crazy motherfucker. You think you gonna innovate? Shit. And you pushing rhetoric. That man said if his daughter was the guy raped, she would have the child. Yo, come on now, yo. That's not even logical. That's not reasonable. That's just idiotic. You know what I mean? That's idiocracy. Like, what the fuck is you talking about, bro? Like, you really put your child through that? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's the biggest issue. Well, that's another issue. It ain't the biggest. The biggest issue is the money. The other issue is he's going after the youth. I mean, he's going to college campuses. These are the future voters. Yo, with the morals and principles that the Democratic Party hold, with the message that they're pushing, yo, it's not a lot of people behind that. Now you got this guy is just like killing y'all argument repeatedly. He going to the kids with it. Yo, you can't do that, y'all. Get away with it. I'm sorry. You should have seen this day coming. Like I said, if I was following y'all, I would have been like, yo, he gotta be careful. Candace Owens gotta be careful, and she ain't nowhere near as radical as y'all. She gotta be careful. Gotta be careful, y'all. It's a dangerous game, y'all. Politics is a dangerous game. Get real dirty, conniving, cutthroat. You know what I mean? Get cutthroat. Yeah, for real. That shit sound crazy, Myra. Fuck you going? Come on now. That don't even make sense. What's up, Raul? Well, Candace already said she's not suicidal. She did a video. I seen one of her videos a couple weeks. I wanna hear what she got to say. She probably scared to speak. The other guy, what's his name? Wiscom canceled. He had a speaking engagement. The other guy to do the same work. Fuck your name is. He had a speaking engagement. He just canceled your shit. Fuck your name. Ben Shapiro. Yeah, Ben Shapiro. He had a speaking engagement. Canceled it. Like I said, this was to serve as a deterrent. This was an example. The United States make examples, man. Just like go back to Martin Luther King. They was examples. That's why you'll never see another one. Not an organic one. You heard what they said, yo. There'll never be a black Messiah unless we give him to him. Y'all don't remember he said that? Let me find it. Fuck that nigga name was. Who's the head of the FBI? I always be forgetting your name. So who was the head of the FBI back then, y'all? What the fuck that dude's name was? Damn. So who was the head of the FBI, yo? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Back in the 60s and shit. Hoover. Right, hold on. There we go. Preventing the rise of a Messiah. 40 years ago, today, a bullet severed the spine of a man whom many of the world thought as a prince. We have all seen the pictures of the hotel balcony where the prince stood and fell, surrounded by, talking about the king, surrounded by his entourage and pointing. One man was not standing, not pointing, but kneeling by Martin Luther King's body. What interest could, let me see, I'm trying to get to the point. That man, Mario McCullough, was an undercover police officer who had infiltrated King's circle. According to Time magazine, he worked for the Central Intelligence Agency at least as far back as 1974. What interest could an intelligence agency have in a man who plainly believed only in peace? In August 1967, 4 months after King called the U.S. government the greatest pervery, what the fuck this word is? Pervivore of violence in the world. 1967, listen to what King said. The United States government is the greatest pervivore of violence in the world. 3 months after the 30 members of the Black Panther Party marched armed into the California State Capitol onto the front pages of newspaper worldwide, J. Edgar Hoover, the head of the American Domestic Law Enforcement Agency, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, issued the following directive. The purpose of this new counterintelligence endeavor is to expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize the activities of black nationalists, hate-type organizations and groupings, their leadership, spokesmen, membership, and supporters. By hate-type organizations, Hoover explained that he meant such groups as Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, King's Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the Congress of Racial Equality, and the Nation of Islam, the group Malcolm X belonged to, until shortly before his 1965 murder. In February 1968, there was a massive demonstration in the support of then imprisoned leader of the Black Panthers and Stokely Carmichael, and H. Rat Brown merged SNCC with the Panthers. Hoover issued another directive: prevent the rise of a Messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement. Malcolm X may have been such a Messiah. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, and the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad, all inspired to this position. King could be a very real contender for the position should he be abandoned. What's that? King could be a very real contender for this position should he abandon his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrines. According to another declassified FBI memo, shortly after FBI proposed having a carbon copy of an informant report reportedly written by Carmichael to the CIA, carefully disposed in the automobile of a close black nationalist friend. It is hoped that when the informant report is read, it will help promote distrust between Carmichael and the black community. FBI agents called Carmichael's mother, falsely telling her that the Black Panthers were out to kill her son soon after Carmichael left the country. While the guns that killed Malcolm X was held by black hands, we know that this bodyguard, the day he was shot, was an undercover police agent who later infiltrated the New York chapter of the Black Panthers Party and charged many of his leaders with various crimes. Yo, you can't get bigger than the program, yo. It don't matter who you is, man. It don't matter who you is. Can't get bigger than the program, yo. He got bigger than the program. I'm trying to find Hoover quotes. Let's see. J. Edgar Hoover quotes. Look at this article. J. Edgar Hoover, Black Panther's greatest threat to U.S. security. He said that Black Panthers was the greatest threat to U.S. security, man. The Black Panthers Party represents the greatest threat among the black extremist group to the internal security of the United States, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover said Tuesday. Hoover said in his fiscal 1969 annual report that increased activity of violence-prone black extremist groups had put more investigative responsibilities on the FBI. Of these, Hoover said, the Black Panthers, without question, represent the greatest threat to the internal security of the country. Huey Newton, the Panthers' Minister of Defense, was convicted September 8, 1968 for the fatal shooting of an Oakland, California policeman. Another Panther, Bobby Seale, was among 8 demonstrators at the 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago, indicted on federal charges of enticing a riot. Hoover announced new figures showing student revolutions during 1968 and 1969 academic year caused more than $3 million in damages to educational facilities and led more than 4,000 arrests. He said the use of organized terror and violence disrupted more than 225 institutions of higher learning. There were 61 cases of arsons or bombings on college campus. Hoover reiterated his contention that the radical students for Democratic Society, was the instigators for much of the unrest. Like, oh, they been this way, man. They been this way, man. Can't get too big. That's just what it is. It's universal. It's colorblind. You know what I mean? This probably one of the few things in America that's colorblind. You feel me? Yeah, we know race and color plays a major role in everything United States. But when it comes down to that shit universal. I don't give a fuck what you look. I don't give a fuck what you look like. You better not get too big. Nope. Okay, you start fucking with the money, man. Start fucking with the money. But y'all, let me hold on, y'all. Let me call this girl. Hell yes, it's a money game. It's a money game. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, though, man. It's fucked up though, y'all. I mean, but when you choose that path, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, they knew that they could be killed. They talked about it often. You know what I mean? They knew that they could be killed for the things that they were saying out their mouth. You know. I just hope he didn't think he was exempt. Hell yeah. I just hope he think he wasn't exempt. Nobody is exempt, y'all. Nobody. But y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all make sure y'all share it live. I gotta go pick my kids up from school. I gotta pick my kids up from school. But it's never there keeping you news, and I'm out.